guys, and welcome back to Samantha's Kitchen. I know that it's pretty miserable in lockdown at the moment. People are getting a bit fed up and we're trying to create, in this beautiful summer weather, a little bit of that holiday feel. So I thought today I would make some Canary Island potatoes with, and I apologise, I'm not good at pronouncing stuff, with Mojo, Rojo sauce and Mojo Verde. These are one of the specialities of the Canary Islands. They're a wrinkly salted new potato, and then you have the two sauces. Sometimes you also have aioli, but today I'm going to make the typical orange sauce that you get and the green sauce. So first things first, we actually need to roast the peppers and garlic for a little bit until they're nice and soft. So for the Mojo Rojo sauce, you'll need 2 red peppers, and you will also need 4 to 5 garlic cloves. So I'm going to cut these, de-seed them, and I'm going to roast both of these. You will also need a piece of bread. So I'm using a top of a bread cake, but you can easily put in just a slice of baguette or something along those lines. I have de-seeded my peppers and I have cut them up. I've also got 5 of the garlic cloves. I've completely taken the skin off them. They are quite small, so I've put in an extra garlic clove. Typically you'd use 4 medium-sized ones. And then the bread cake, I have just put that at the side, ready to go in to roast with the garlic and peppers. I have just covered them a little bit with oil so they don't burn, and this is going to go in the oven now at 180 degrees for about 25 minutes. So while we're waiting for the peppers and the garlic and the bread to roast in the oven, you can be getting your other ingredients ready. For the other ingredients, you will need half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of sugar. You will need 2 chilies chopped. I have put 3 chilies in because I quite like a bit of heat, and I'm leaving the seeds in as well. You'll also need half a teaspoon of cumin and a full teaspoon of smoked paprika. You will also then need a tablespoon of white wine vinegar and 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, so our peppers, garlic and top of a bread cake have been roasting for about 25 minutes, and this now goes all into the bowl in preparation to be whizzed up. So we will now add the ingredients that I talked earlier in the program. And what we need to add now is we need to add the white wine vinegar, which is 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar. And then we'll need to add our 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And as I say, when you're whizzing this with your blender or your mixer, you want to get a consistency that is thick but is not too thick. So you can add a little bit of water to this if you need to, or a little bit more olive oil if you want it a little bit more richer in taste. And so we will now whiz that up, and I will show you a close-up of what it looks like. Okay, this is the Mojo Rojo sauce. It is so orangey red, it is unbelievable. Depending upon how you like it, you can make it extremely smooth or you can make it a little bit more chunky. I have made it a little bit more chunky for the potatoes. It smells amazing. We're going to now do our Canary Island potatoes. I have already washed the potatoes here. There are 750 grams of potatoes, And what we want to do is we want to just have enough water in here to cover the potatoes, and then we're going to add quite a significant amount of salt. So I'll go and put the water in now. As you can see, I have just put enough water in to cover the potatoes. Now this is where it can be quite shocking for some people, but you're going to need about 5 tablespoons of salt in this. So we'll just add the salt now. It is a lot of salt, but this is where the Canary Islands really come into their own. This is what makes the potatoes wrinkly. And it gives it a lovely coating. So make sure all that salt water now is fully covering all the potatoes. And we're going to cook this now, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that all the water evaporates and cooks out, and it leaves like a salty, crispy coating on the potatoes. But I'll give you a few screenshots so you can see what that looks like. We can make a start on the Mojo Verde, sorry, I say it wrong. So we will need for this a cup of coriander, a cup of parsley, 3 to 4 garlic cloves, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of cumin, 3 to 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, and I like a bit of heat, so we are going to put in a few green chilies. Okay, so we've got our big bunch of parsley and coriander in the bowl, and we're going to add now a half teaspoon of salt. We're going to add a half teaspoon of cumin. I've put in 2 extra garlic cloves because these garlic cloves are small, but you want roughly a good tablespoon sized of your garlic, and then I've got 2 green chilies. We are going to add a tablespoon now of white wine vinegar, and then we're going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. If you can get the Spanish olive oil, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I have a Greek one, but it'll work just fine. Okay, and what we do now is we blitz it. You can use a smoother blitzer or anything like that. I'm using one of these, and yeah, we'll blitz it into a fine paste. Okay, I have whisked this up now, and as you can see, it's really smooth. Oh, it smells absolutely gorgeous. It just takes me back to being on holiday. It really does. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put this in the fridge to cool. Just look at the colour of that. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. All that fresh ingredients. It's just amazing. Just a side note, just to say, if you find that it's a little bit too thick for consistency, you can always add a tiny bit of water to it just to make it a little bit more loose when you're whizzing. I've put in about 2 tablespoons of water, and it makes these really cool jars, so you just have enough really, and you can just pop in the fridge whenever you want and dip into them whenever you want. If you sterilise your jars, it'll last a good couple of weeks in the fridge. Okay, I just wanted to give you an update on the potatoes, and can you see that the salt on the sides is starting to crystallise, and the potatoes are just getting a little bit of wrinkle. Now the water will still need to reduce. You need very, very little water, in fact hardly any water, so these will need another good 15 minutes, but I'll update you once the water's reduced. So I just wanted to show you, I just wanted to show you here. Can you see that the potatoes that are outside of the water are now starting to get the salt crystals surrounding them? So another 5 to 6 minutes bubbling on a high heat. The water should have reduced significantly enough then for us potatoes to come out. Okay, the potatoes are done, and as you can see they have a nice coating of salt around them and they're just starting to wrinkle. It's time to add our sauces now. Okay, so I'm gonna try a little bit of the Mojo Verde now. Look at this, beautiful. And our lovely red, deep red sauce. Look at this one. Oh. Now, how beautiful does that look? Barbecue. Get your barbecue going, and why not make some Canary Island potatoes to go with it? Give you that holiday feel. Delicious. Stay safe, everyone.